God warned his people over and over, if they did not obey him, then he would not protect them from their enemies. One of the enemies was King Nebuchadnezzar, ruler of the powerful country of Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar wanted to destroy the special city of Jerusalem and destroy the beautiful temple of God. Because the kings and many of the people did not obey God, he let King Nebuchadnezzar win. King Nebuchadnezzar came to Jerusalem 3 times. The first time, he took many people as prisoners, including many young people. The second time, he captured the king and army and took 10,000 people as prisoners. Finally, on the third capture, King Nebuchadnezzar broke down the temple and destroyed the city of Jerusalem. He took away almost all the rest of the people. They all had to move to the country of Babylon. Now, God's people could not live in their own country. Bad things had happened because most of the people had chosen not to obey God. Not all the people were bad. There were 4 good young Jewish boys who were taken as prisoners during the first capture. Their names were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. They were good boys who loved God. They obeyed God's laws. They worshipped God and prayed. They were also careful to obey all of God's rules about which foods they could eat and which foods they could not eat. Now they were prisoners. They had to leave their parents and go live far away in the city of Babylon. While these boys were living in Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar decided to choose all the smartest and healthiest young prisoners to be his special helpers. Daniel and his 3 friends were chosen. The king wanted the prisoners to learn to like Babylon and to help the king. They were taken to the palace and taught all the laws of Babylon. Their names were changed to Babylonian names: Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They learned science and maths and all about the stars. While the boys were learning, the king put an official in charge of them. He told the official to give the young men the best food in Babylon. There was one very big problem. Daniel and his friends knew that the king's food was food that God did not allow. The food had probably even been used in the worship of idols. If they ate the food, then they would be disobeying God's law. Daniel told the king's official that they would not eat the king's food. The official liked Daniel and his friends. He noticed that they were good boys and always tried their best. He did not want to make them eat the king's food, but he was afraid that the king would get mad at him. Daniel had a good idea. He told the official to perform a test. Daniel and his friends would only eat vegetables and drink water for 10 days. At the end of 10 days, the official could judge to see if they were as healthy as all of the other young men at the palace. Daniel and the other 3 boys ate only healthy vegetables and drank only water for 10 days. At the end of 10 days, the official noticed that these 4 boys were healthier than all of the rest of the young men at the palace. From then on, he allowed them to eat the food that God allowed. They did not have to eat the king's food. At the end of the study time, all of the young men were brought before the king so he could test them with questions. The king decided that Daniel and his friends were the best of all the young men in the palace. They were wise and intelligent. They were 10 times better than all the magicians and wise men in the entire kingdom. Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego became wise men of the king's court. They always loved God and tried to obey his laws. Even though they were prisoners, God blessed them and took care of them. Still, the principle of caring for the bodies that God gave us makes sense. 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 talks about the fact that our body is a temple for Holy Spirit. We are to honor God with our bodies.